We are live streaming.
Hi, Esther.
Hi, Hang. Let's let everyone in.
Hi, Hang.
Okay, welcome, artists. We're so excited to have you. Welcome, welcome. We're having everyone streaming in. We're live on Facebook.
Can we do a mic check? Can folks hear me?
Who is talking? We can hear you. Who was talking?
Oh, that's me. It's Erin.
Erin. Okay. Yes, we can hear you. If anyone else wants to do a mic check, you're welcome to do that.
Hello, testing. It's Rafi.
Rafi, we can hear you.
You can hear. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, can people hear me?
Yes, perfect. Loud and clear.
Hi, Tremi. It's Miho.
Hi, Miho. How are you?
Great. Thank you. How are you?
Very good. I love your background. Look at you.
Oh, thank you. That's one of my paintings.
Nice background.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So we are streaming live on Facebook. Great. Thank you for recording. And we should be on YouTube too. So we're checking all that before we begin at 7 o'clock. But we are so excited to have you all here. We are live on YouTube as well. So if you're joining us, you can join us on our channel at Chopsticks Alley. We're on Facebook and other places. Lindsay, tell us how you're doing.
Hey everyone, it's been crazy, it's been busy, but You're the Tiger is going very well for me. I've been feeling very grateful, even though this week is a little hectic.
Wonderful. Love to hear all of your updates. And let's see who else. Ronnie, I think it's your first time with us, yeah?
Yeah, my good friend Hang told me about this.
Wonderful. I'm excited. If you want to move your camera down just a little so we can see your whole face, that would be
Okay.
great. Yeah, there you go.
Got
So
it?
that way, yep.
Got
See,
it.
we're also here to make sure you look good.
Thanks for having me.
So as far as lineup, we will let you know when your turn is next. That's how we do it. So we ask that, you stay for the entire event. And it's late here. Yes, thank you, Kayana. I hope I'm
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
And how you guys doing? It's late over here, so I'm just gonna use my video. So I'm glad to be here tonight. This is my first time on your show.
Ooh, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And Marissa Lynn, you're back.
Good to be back.
Yay. So happy to see you. And then Betty, my favorite artist, Betty Nguyen.
Hello. You are all my favorite artists. I'm excited to watch your art, see your art and performances today.
Great to see you. And then we have Lorelai. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And let's see, who else? Oh, Vineet, am I saying your name right? Vineet? Oh, we can't hear you for some reason. So let's have you work that out. Erin, we said hello to you as you did your test. Did we get to see your beautiful face today?
I'll be on in a moment. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just busy.
She's probably finishing dinner is what I think.
I'm all like trying to put makeup on. I ate an Eggo and hello, Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay, for answering that phone call the other night. I was tripping. And it's been like I would just say COVID-19 is crazy. If you do not have test kits, please message me so I can email you if you're in the South Bay and need test kits. They're free at the library, which is great. And I know there's a shortage. So, yeah. But I will come on video in momentarily. And hello, everyone that's new that I have not met before. What's up?
I would love some test kits, by the way. I'm one of those people, last minute. I tell everybody to get theirs, and I'm like, where's mine? So I will be contacting you for some.
Hey, Rami,
Yes.
I'd like just to thank Esther Young, who invited me to join this group. I met her was it yesterday or the other day at Red Rock Open Mic, and she was so gracious to let me know that there is this amazing open mic. So it's my first time here. I want to thank Esther for letting me know about it. Yeah.
Ooh, wonderful. We're so glad that she did, and we're glad that you decided to take a chance and join us.
I second that. Esther told me about this too, the last open mic that I went. So thanks, Esther.
Wonderful. We can hear you now, Benita.
Yeah, I just had the different input.
Yeah. Did you guys want to test your sound or anything? Because I know with musicians, it's a little bit trickier. So you're welcome to do that if you'd like to before we begin at 7.
Yeah, I can just try out my keyboard. If you can hear that, let me know.
Okay. So I could hear it. Yep. And Rafi.
Can I also quickly do a mic test? Can you guys see and hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Esther.
She's frozen again.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
So I'm going to stay off screen for most of the evening because my Wi-Fi is not great. So
You actually sounded good. So I think you should get back on.
unfortunately. Okay. Just to save the Wi-Fi bandwidth, I'm going to use my audio and not my video because I really want to hype up all of you. I'm really excited to hear you all, but I just moved in my new place. The Wi-Fi situation is not figured out yet. So I'm not really able to see your faces move, which is hard without visual cues. But I'm
Use your
here and I
phone.
appreciate you all.
Use your phone, Esther. Get on Zoom with your phone.
Okay, let me try that.
Yeah. So we have a few minutes left. We love it when everyone shows up for us.
Hey, Trump, can I just sound check
Yes, please.
for the guitar? Can you hear the guitar good enough?
Yes, we can hear the guitar. If you want to bring it a little closer or play a little louder, that's okay too.
Okay.
So Harleen, I think we can stop the music so we can kind of.
Yeah, the music is pretty loud.
Here we go. All right, let's hear you.
Ooh.
Yep.
They're good enough? Yeah, okay.
But you can afford to go louder if you like to.
I will. Okay, I'll
Okay.
adjust it. I'll adjust it.
Oh, it's me. Actually, I just turned up the volume. You sound fine.
Oh, okay then.
So you're perfect.
Perfect.
All righty. Okay, I think everyone is here. And Teresa, so you know, I did hide the ones who are here who are not showing up on video. So I hide screen them so in case you need to do a head count for a raffle later. Hello, chị Vân Lan Chương.
Finally, my dear.
And also we have Thomas Vo who's here. These are 2 Chopsticks Alley board members. So they're here to show us some support and love. We love it.
Yay, yay.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see everyone.
So next time you're going to show us your art, right, chị Vân Lan? Because I know you're an artist too.
Yeah, that was when I was a kid. When I retire, I definitely will do it again.
Wonderful. So I think we should open the show. So there's Esther. Look at that. Harleen, do you want to kick us off?
Yes, I do. The clock has hit 7, and it's now time to officially start creativity. Before we begin, I just want to introduce some housekeeping rules. So first, please be muted at all times unless you are performing. The chat is open for questions or to hype up your favorite artists. And that being said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Harleen Kaur, and I'm one of your hosts for tonight. Welcome to February's Creativity. Before we begin, I want to give a little shout out to our Chopsticks team. We have Trami Kron, our Executive Artistic Director, Esther Young, my other co-host, Teresa Doe, who is coordinating the behind the scenes of the Zoom, and we have Ashley Hin, who's not here tonight, but she helps make the graphics and the backgrounds. If you guys would like to participate in our backgrounds, we will be having them drop down in the chat, and you guys can download them and change your Zoom background to be a part of the team. So now a little bit about Chopsticks Alley Art. We promote Southeast Asian cultural heritage through the shared creative expression of art. We have art exhibits, classes, performances, and we aim to foster a greater understanding and connect communities through the arts. Chopsticks Alley serves young Southeast Asian artists, low-income families, elders, the LGBTQIA+ community, and individuals with differing abilities. Now I would like to hand it off to Esther, who would tell us a bit about the history of open mics.
Thank you, Harleen. So this month, February, we are celebrating Lunar New Year as well as Black History Month. So we are going to be holding 2 raffles throughout the show for 2 cool prizes. One is going to be a copy, of Chopsticks Alley's first published book, which is called Adventure Down the Mekong. This is an art book with 8 culturally, historically relevant art lessons that anyone of all ages can do. We're also going to raffle off a $50 gift certificate to Lao Papaya, which is in San Jose. So stay tuned for this raffle that's going to be happening in the middle and towards the end of the show. And because it is Black History Month, I just want to acknowledge again that the tradition of open mics is owed to Black communities in both Europe and in the States. This open mic tradition was established during the Harlem Renaissance, which, as you know, was a movement in the US. And also in Europe, there was something called the Negritude movement, which is a time when African and Caribbean students gathered in Paris to talk about anti-colonialism. So we really owe it to them that we have this tradition here today.
If you're wondering about the order tonight of the performers, the orders of performers will be announced throughout the open mic show. When you hear your name called on deck, that means you're going up after the person who is about to perform. So to kick off tonight, we have our very talented performer, Kiana the artist, and Lorelei Williams is on deck. Kiana the artist is known as the unknown artist around the world. So let's welcome Kiana.
Hello, everybody. I am happy to be here tonight, and I guess it's afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. So I'm going to do 2 poems for you guys. My first poem is called Everyone Has a Voice. Everybody has a voice of crying to a voice of shout. Everybody has a voice. To a 9-year-old getting in trouble with the law, to the college students filing for college loans, everybody has a voice. To a preacher to preach people's souls to justify, everybody has a voice. To the White House, to the Congress, to the military, to the dying world, everybody has a voice. To a teacher, to a student, to a school, everybody has a voice. To a rapper, to a singer, to a poet, everybody has a voice. Say, hey, I'm not getting paid enough to unemployed to relocate it, everybody has a voice. To gangs in the streets against protests, everybody has a voice. To the pretty long white dress saying I do, to the newborn baby coming into the world, everybody has a voice. To get a new trade, to own your own business, everybody has a voice. To be the next top model, to lure you in the courtroom, everybody has a voice. To let your voice be heard because everybody has a voice. All right, I'm going to do my other poem, and I'm going to put everything in the chat box. So I like the thing called CREATIVItea. So I actually have a poem that's called Creativity. Creativity. Please pass me the mic. I was once called creativity. Creativity, I say, that is who I am. Creativity, creativity, creativity. My naysayers and my haters and my critics, they cannot control me, telling me who I am, telling me who I am. Creativity, creativity, creativity. That is who I am. My naysayers and my haters and my critics, they cannot control me, telling me who I am, telling me who I am. Creativity, creativity, creativity. That is who I am. Creativity. And thank you guys. I am an author of 5 books. My book of the month from January and February is called The Journey Love ABC. It's a self-help book for kids. And also I host an open mic and writing class and a little bit of everything. So I'm going to put that information in the chat box. And please go check me out. Everywhere, Kiana the Artist. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Esther.
Kiana, thank you so much for your poetry. That was probably the best opener we could have had without any planning, without any conversing beforehand. I feel like you just showcased the power that every artist, every performing artist here has. So that was spot on. And yeah, please do give us your links in the chat. We're doing that for each of you performers as well, but would love to learn more about your book, your class, and also your open mic. It's great to get connected with artists across the states. So thank you. All right, I know that my video is lagging, so if I'm cutting somebody off, I do apologize.
So
okay.
who is on next?
Great. Yeah, so messages letting in. Sorry. Okay, cool. So our next performer is Lorelei Williams. Lorelei goes by they, them pronouns. They are a queer, trans, Korean American abolitionist, artist, and attorney dedicated to teaching legal advocates how to engage in trauma-informed and anti-racist advocacy in their individual capacities and collectively as movement advocates. Lorelei uses art to reflect on injustice more deeply and as a medium for advocacy as a poet, painter, and visual artist. We are very excited to have Lorelei Williams back after I think only one performance here at CREATIVEtea, and on deck is going to be Betty Nguyen.
Great, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to read a few poems for you. By context, I was an immigration lawyer for 10 years, so you'll see some themes. Everyone wants to hear the stories about fleeing in the night with the clothes on your back and dodging bullets and escaping rapists and crossing fictions to find different realities, because what's a border when you're going to get shot on either side anyway? Everyone wants to hear the stories about mothers crying for babies in cages inside cages and shackled soul children, and how the wheel of all the complexes continue to churn when they proclaimed emancipation, and yet it's still a white man's dollar profiting off of jailing and executing the Black and brown players after designing the game, printing the money, writing the rules, and still demanding to be the banker. And every time I have a different story to tell of a different life I hope to offer hope to, in a system that cruelly reproduces the same miserable outcomes in a flat circle of oppression. So tell me, which story do you want today? So that one was called Story, and this one is called Some Days. Most days I have more empathy than anyone can handle, unless you have the audacity of not having fled in fear for your life. On others, I relish swapping bleeding hearts for bleeding the heartless, bathing in the rage I suppress with feigned innocence to survive. I dreamed of destroying that unholy white throne of saviorism that gives bullhorns to those who scream anti-racism the loudest, while the purse strings of privilege form unsolvable knots, their hands closing around throats while they demand justice. Most days I hose down the dragon, fogging up my soul, because when you're fighting an endless battle in a flat circle of pain, there's simply not enough spoons in the world for us to catch your fragile tears as we're trying to slay the naked king. And on others, I open the gates so she can stretch her wings, curl her head back and unfurl ribbons of fire to engulf our allies who would rather see our smiles than hear our pain, for whom this battle is a fantasy while we just fight to be seen. Most days, I confine my frustrations to an eye roll and a sigh, biting my tongue because I still need your coin to free my friend, languishing behind bars of othering, surviving on Uncle Ben's irony, littered with a garnish of inedible rocks and dismembered roaches. But on others, I pause to dream of a world where the generosity of your spirit does not depend on your reflection, because as you stare into my eyes, so eager to lend a hand, I still only see your image clouding your vision. And I have just one more. And this one is a short one, a villanelle. My belly is soft from beatings as my skin stretches to comply, hiding wry muscles of survival. It stretches to become a raft for anyone fleeing terror, and so my belly is soft from beatings. Each crossing stretches my skin, making it loose, soft, and supple, hiding wry muscles of survival. Emerging from the water, it stretches into a shield, and so my belly is soft from beatings. On the longest and darkest nights, skin becomes a battering ram, hiding wry muscles of survival. Veiled journeys become endless, and our bodies thirst for comfort. My belly is soft from beatings, hiding wry muscles of survival. Thank you so much, everyone. My stuff's in the chat, but you can find me on all the platforms. It's Lorelei, LORILEI.Williams. And I also have a website, lorelei.info, LORILEI.info. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Lorelei, oh my God, that last poem. I'm so glad you slowed it down because that line just you added more weight every time. Wow. Also, like, way to call out the BS. Okay, we can swear on here, right? It's okay. Way to call out bullshit. Like, I don't expect anything less from you, but hey, thank you for doing that. And just thank you for bringing your attention to fragility, calling that out. Thank you for calling our attention also to the way that we hold ourselves, our bodies, and the belly, probably the most vulnerable place, especially for those of us in female presenting bodies. Thank you for being here.
All right, so we have our next performer, Betty Nguyen. Betty experiments with different art forms to create a sense of embodied belonging in spite of discomfort and displacement. Betty received their Bachelor's of Science in Biology at Stanford University by studying living organisms and working towards an MA in Arts in Medicine at the University of Florida by insisting on thriving communities. Betty dreams of invertebrates, mosaic kneecaps, and pipes connecting bodies of water. And on deck, we have Lindsay Leong.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm very blessed to share this time with you all. Today, I wanted to share two projects of mine. First is a short film called Anti-Venom Cyboogie, which is about a cyborg who reboots and reminisces about good times with friends. And then another one is a community arts project called And Belong that I want to invite you to join in and participate in by February 24th. And yeah, so both are an attempt to use the arts to connect with our surroundings, with one another, to places around us so that we can insist that we belong where we are, especially for those of us who have complicated relationships to place due to things like immigration, displacement, housing insecurity, etc. So please enjoy and thank you for your time.
Wow, Betty, I just have to say,
My name is Betty Nguyen, and I am the daughter of refugees displaced by U.S. intervention in Vietnam. Belonging is something that oppressors try to extract out of us to map us out of with artificial borders and concrete walls. It can also be something that we create, sense, and embody within us, in spite of those forces that exclude and displace. And Belong is a community arts project and a research project created for those of us displaced and out of place. Using different types of art, from photography to culinary to sound and more, we can engage our whole selves with the environment around us and insist on belonging to existence, to survival, and to prosperity. Our creativity can help us protect and be protected by the land and each other, so that regardless of what place we find ourselves in, we can rely on our own innate ability to make belonging. I would like to invite you to join this project and play with different art forms to create and map belonging at am.belong on Instagram. This has been a video tour of a digital collage and a map of photographs taken in the Ohlone land known as the Bay Area.
thank you, Betty, for sharing that. I'd love to hear more about what it is that you're calling our artists to do to help you with the M Belong. Can you, take a few minutes to do that?
Yeah, so I'm working with the Center of Arts and Medicine and thinking about how the arts can help us better articulate and understand experiences as it connects to belonging. So some of you are sound artists, some of you are visual artists. These art forms contain so much more information than just data or words ever could. So through the project, you'll be asked, what does belonging sound like to you? What does it look like to you? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? And it's super open-ended. You can submit however you want. You can submit recipes, paintings, poetry, photography, just really anything, whatever speaks to you the most, to just build upon this idea and this collective sense of belonging. Another part of it is to help create a map that isn't like, a map that you find in a book that's scientifically or whatever that means accurate, but rather a map that really represents our community and the places we find belonging and the places we want to protect.
Great. So you're asking people to go on Instagram and maybe tag the M Belong hashtag?
It's a little more complicated than that. There's like an official website. You go in and you answer the prompts with an upload of an image. You can follow the Instagram as a hub for information, for updates, for how-tos, and the links that you need to submit it officially. But yeah, engage however you can, as much as you can, however you'd like.
Great. If you want to share the website in our chat or whatever it is you want us to do. And so artists at CREATIVItea, we're going to help support each other here, right? So will you all at least go check it out and submit something? You all have something to say, right? So please, 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 this will help Betty with her project. Thank you very much. And I'll hand the mic back to Esther.
Sweet. Betty, this is so cool. Definitely your video is so beautiful. I was getting chills, and there's something about the way you were portraying faces that was really moving somehow. I feel like you were encouraging us to consider beauty in a different way. I'm not a visual artist. I'm not going to have the words. Somebody help me out. There's a lot of visual artists here, and I'm like, light, shadow, words, what? But what you're doing, I can't even see where you are on screen. Okay, here you are, Betty. Sorry. Wi-Fi also low. But thank you for introducing your project to us. Yes, you did put your link up. Okay, good. So cool. All of us here, I hope that we will check this out, figure out how we can engage. Heck yes. Do as Ashley does. Those of you who can't from where you are. Okay, Betty, I hope you'll rejoin us. I would love to hear updates on how this project continues to evolve as you move forward and lead this initiative. Very cool. All right, all right. I'm very excited to introduce our next artist, which is Lindsay Liang, aka Hella Famous. Hella Famous is a third-generation Chinese-American spoken word artist. She is also a wonderful host herself. She is a curator, and she is a really intentional community organizer. So we're very excited to welcome Hella Famous to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. So we got unmuted. Happy New Year. Happy Black History Month. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be here. I don't want to bring the vibes down, but it is Black History Month. And as Esther stated earlier, you know, for us to be Asian artists in this space, we have gratitude towards the Black community. And this is a piece that I wrote in July 2013 when George Zimmerman was not convicted of murdering Trayvon Martin. And similar to what Lorelai was talking about earlier, we talk about fragility and kind of like the ways we talk about race. And I'm kind of waiting for a point when it's like this poem becomes irrelevant, but I just think it's important to keep sharing it because it's Stop Asian Hate in addition to Black Lives Matter, and matter being the minimum. You know, we need to get past the point of just, it's the minimum. It's about joy, and it's about mental health, and it's about all these other things. And particularly in the last year when I feel like the mainstream media has done a lot to kind of lit the fires of tension that may exist between our communities, it just feels important to keep sharing it. So thank y'all for being here. I don't want to bring the vibes down too much, but I appreciate y'all and being in conversation, particularly on hard topics like this. I still got this hoodie on, and memories attack like lyrical source. Tupac proclaimed that Lady Liberty needs glasses. So the stories we got to tell demands that have to be on hashtags: justice for Oscar Grant, justice for Trayvon Martin. There's been a quiet terrorism and what it means to live inside a face of color. I lived it early from young days pushing on the scooter. I wasn't older than 10, boys screaming. Because inside this face, I was, quote, a fat Chinese bitch because I was better at those games than them. And internalized racism told them that me being this face meant I'm less, even when my successes were bigger. And my dad told me early that being Asian American, being of color, and we had to be better to still be treated as less than equal. And the terrorism of living inside a face of color doesn't fade as you mature, Lady Liberty. Did you ever see me? So I still got this hoodie on, and I want a motherfucking riot inside your train of thought to paint these paints as progress, because as faces of color, we live stories of voice out loud to the heartbreaks of justice failures of a system not meant to support the terrorism I face inside this space, inside this voice, inside these cultures not classified as worthy enough. So if I gave Lady Liberty glasses, she could see society never wanted me, because my grandfather was in a paper son during the Chinese Exclusion Act, banning Chinese immigration to America for over 60 years. So my grandfather was undocumented, but a World War II vet. My grandmother was a war bride, and my second generation father marrying a white woman only added to Lady Liberty's anxieties, because 30 plus years after the anti-miscegenation laws ended, my parents met. And 35 years after that, I was created. And contrary to limitations of understanding, I don't speak with an accent. We eat with forks and chopsticks, and I can only be made in America. Sitting on the porch of hip hop's golden age and mainstream takeover. So not really on that Chinese school Saturday. Sorry, yo. So not really on that 7-tone Chinese school on Saturday-ish. More like from grimy to gangster group on that yada I mean-ish. And I still got this hoodie on thinking, if Lady Liberty has glasses, we got to clarify, even upgrade that prescription. Hell, give that bitch a makeover. Where is the accountability for liberating waves on the days being a face of color means? Accepting a level of fear inside your own face. And while the fears I experience The anxieties perpetuated against me as an Asian American biracial woman are not the same fears that Trayvon Martin, that Oscar Grant faced inside their faces. We have all struggled against racism, external and internal, which plague the stories our faces tell. And I believe our souls could be kindred so we could go far away from here, surrender to love inside these faces. I don't know Lady Liberty, but what if we could live inside her glasses instead of being denied our humanity, denied tragedies of responses to our own faces trapped inside her blind spot? If she ever saw me, she couldn't recognize my face because I refuse to live raceless, faceless, but I'm still here inside this face and I still got this hoodie on. Thank y'all.
Wow, Lindsay, that was powerful, impactful. I mean, you also participated in Chopsticks Alley's first Asian creative healing, correct?
I did. We had an amazing time in Sanborn County Park, and it was beautiful to talk about what's in a name and the weight it carries when people say your name correctly, make you feel pressure to change your name, or when they just don't care about learning about what your name means in our respective cultures.
Yeah, speaking of name, do you want to explain your second name for any newcomers?
Absolutely. My stage name was always my legal name, which is Lindsay Leong. And I talked about in my poem, with my grandfather being undocumented, Leong wasn't the original family name. So I was born, the first generation born Leong. So I felt it important to keep that name. And Hella Famous was the name of like the social cultural arts movement I had going, but people always just remembered Hella Famous and not Lindsay Leong. So Hella Famous kind of became in tandem. Like it was kind of like my stage name and not my stage name because it's what people remember. So I take it as a compliment that people remember and just, go with what's working in the most grateful way possible.
Thank you so much for sharing. So now we have our next performer, The Neat. The Neat is a musician learning multiple instruments who loves to explore and study various kinds of music from all around the world. And on deck, we have Aaron.
Hey, so this is gonna be a cover of a band called Alice in Chains, and the song is called Down in a Hole. So I'll be playing the piano and vocals. So here you go.
Bury me softly in this room. I give this part of me for you. Sun rains down and here I sit, holding red flowers in a tomb. Down in a hole and I don't know if I can be saved. See my heart, I decorated like a grave. You don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be. Look at me now, I'm a man who won't let himself be. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in a hole, losing my soul. I like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. Down in a hole, and they put all the stones in their place. the sun, so my tongue has been burned off the taste. I have been guilty of kicking myself in the teeth. I will speak no more of my feelings beneath. Down in a hole, feeling so small. I'm down in a hole, losing my soul. I like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. Bury me softly in this moon. I give this part of me for you. Sun rains down and here I sit, holding red flowers in a tomb. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in a hole, losing my soul.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I
So-
hope the song was okay. I never really tried this through the audio interface. So
No, wonderful. It sounded very good.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it was very dreamy. I was swooning. What can I say? I did not expect that, to be honest. So it was beautiful. Now, forgive me. Was that an original song or?
No, it was a cover by. It's a cover of a song called "Down in a Hole" by Alice in Chains. I think it's a 1994 song or something. I don't know.
Wow. So do you also write your own original songs too, or?
I'm not much of a lyricist, so I have some original tunes which I have, but yeah, I'm still working on some. I've not really gotten the chance to like expand some of them. So I spend my time trying to create acoustic and piano renditions of songs that I really like. Yeah, this is like second open mic, so in many years. So
Wonderful. Well,
originals will be soon. So.
Keep doing the good work, because I think you have something here. It's very rare for us to see, Asian folks singing and guys singing in this beautiful way. So you have to represent, right? And I think you should read the chat. It's totally blowing up. Our Asian artists here are supporting you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in real quick. Well, personally, I feel special because I got to see Vineet perform in person, and what the heck, like live music, right? Like if only we could do this in person. We're gonna be in touch, by the way, with all of you about next month's open mic. We did take it in person once, and then the Omicron wave hit, and we were like, okay, safety over, delight. So we're gonna take this back virtual. But all of you guys, poetry, spoken word, visual art is really best enjoyed in person. Also, I wanted to point out, Vineet, you signed up for 7 minutes. So if you have time for another song, if you planned another song, go for it. Just checking in here.
I actually wanted to do something else, so I signed up for 7 minutes, but I wasn't quite ready with that. Sorry.
Hey,
I changed my mind last minute, like.
All good, all good. Well, then I'm just gonna hype you up a little more. I think another cool and sort of unique thing about you is you do covers that are more like metal, pop metal. I saw this guy do a cover of Sober by Tool on guitar, and he did everything. Like he did the rhythm like on the guitar at the ends, and it was amazing to see. So super cool to see you stretch your wings as a musician in that regard.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to explore different kinds of music and try to bring my own touch to it, even if it's like metal or something. I think things can be changed.
Yeah, absolutely. The way you take these songs into acoustic land is really interesting. And as a musician, just let us know how we can support you. This is a platform that really serves to amplify all of you guys as Asian artists. Chopsticks Alley Art isn't really anything without you guys. So let us know how we can serve you in that regard. Your YouTube and Instagram are in our chat, right? I just want to make sure.
Yes,
Okay,
just
cool.
my YouTube and Instagram. I'm gonna start a Instagram channel for music, but this is the one I have for now. So this is good.
Fantastic. Okay, yay. So now I believe I get to announce our next performer, who is just reconnecting right now.
Well, we're going to do a raffle next.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So I think we're going to have Lonnie go first, so that way Erin can get situated, right? So, but before that, let's do our raffle. So I think
guys,
we need, Teresa. But hang on, I gotta do my sound effects. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. It's like a video game. One more time.
Welcome to the Chopsticks Alley Art Raffle. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask one of you to pick a number between 1 and 20. Okay, so each of you secretly have a number. Nobody knows except for Teresa. So I'm going to call on Brandon to go ahead, unmute yourself, and just give me a number between 1 and 20.
17.
17. Okay, Teresa, who
right.
is secretly number 17?
All right, so number 17, and Chami, be ready with the sound effects.
Okay, hang on.
All right, so our winner is Laura.
Laura, is it Laura Lay? Is that who?
Yes.
Yay! Congratulations! So, so I think there are instructions for what you need to do next to claim your prize.
Yes. Okay, Lorelai, here's what you're going to do. You are going to email Teresa your address that we can send the book to. So Teresa is going to leave her email address in the chat, and then go ahead and just email her directly. And yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Congratulations and Happy New Year. This is your Lacey. All right. So next we have.
I'm sorry. Okay. Harleen, are you introducing Erin, or should I go ahead?
Sorry for all the confusion, guys. We're going to have, instead of Erin going next because, she bleeped out for a second, we're going to have Lonnie go next.
All right.
Okay. All right. Lonnie, I'm going to quickly share your bio with everyone so we can get to know you. So Lonnie wears several different hats. By day, she is a watercolor painter, and by night, she does side gigs as a graphic designer. Since her childhood, she has loved just drawing with paper and pencil, and now she intends to pursue a lifelong career as a creative professional. And we are very excited to see where this takes her because she is a very talented artist. On deck, we are going to have poet Marissa Lynn. And Lonnie, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you. All right, hi. Wait, I have to wait a little bit. All right, hi everyone. I'm Lonnie Beard. I'm a watercolor painter and designer. I'm at San Jose State University currently with my good friend Heng. And then I also do design on the side. I do side gigs as a designer. I don't really mind what I'm doing as a creative, as long as I'm just helping out or helping other people fulfill their visions. Next slide, please. So just a little about me. So it's kind of a messy journey. Like I didn't like want to choose this right away from the get-go. When I was growing up, I always had an interest in like cartoons, animation, video games. But I grew up in an Asian family, and then like Asian parents are always like doctor, lawyer, engineer, all these like STEM careers are kind of like the premier careers they want their kids to be. So I never really thought about like thinking like drawing could be a career. So like because I was like, okay, I'll just pick what my sister did. She's a pharmacist, and then like my other family members were like also like STEM people, so I didn't really know. And I think that what really pushed me is that this is not a happy story, but like 5 years ago, my brother passed away really unexpectedly. That like kind of like really shook me. Like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And like using that to like it was hard, but like using that to propel myself, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I had an interest in like video games and art and like animation and stuff. So I tried all these different things. It didn't really like I kept changing my mind because it didn't really stick around. So I like did like maybe some game design, digital art, animation classes. I even tried UI UX, which is more technical on the like the creative side, but it's very business oriented, so that didn't really stick. So now I'm here as a painter, and then I'm just looking forward to have fun. And then next slide, please. So just to start off, kick off, I do a bit of design videography. This as long as it's in the 2D realm, I don't really mind. Like anything like you can just draw it and you can kind of bring that vision to life. For like logo design or like graphic designs, or I do a little bit videography. And then next slide, please. So I'm going to show you some of my paintings. So I do watercolor specifically. I actually only took my first like painting class ever like 2 years ago. I always had like a tablet, so I didn't like never touch paint before. And so I do paintings. I do a lot of practice because color is a pretty hard subject. And then at the left hand side, you can see me painting some meat late at night. Something funny. Yeah, next slide, please. So I didn't like start off like super crazy at first. Like I started like everyone else. Like I didn't know what to draw. Like it just takes a lot of practice. And it's a craft. You need a commitment. And next slide, please. Yeah. So just to introduce the influences I have. Like growing up, I love animations. I love painting. So I love Totoro from Studio Ghibli. And we have a painting from Joe Mitchell. She's got like an abstract expressionist. It's all about like showing up the paint as paint in the paintings. And I love these like traditional like Asian paintings on like silk from like another era. This is like so beautiful, so almost like calligraphic. That's kind of really draw like my style from. So yeah, that's fine. So I like went to school. I like learned painting, and I did some oil painting class with Perry Powers. Shout out to him. And then like I thought the medium was so beautiful, but like it wasn't quite like what I wanted. So next slide, please. And so like the thing about watercolor, it's so like fluid and there's so like little control you can have over it sometimes. So I kind of like that expansiveness and openness. Then like stepping back from my influences, I really like the idea of flight and how like you can capture this moment in space and time with the painting. And then next slide, please. And so I would also really like flowers. My mom used to own like a flower shop. I remember like my sister and brother would help out with like deliveries and such. And I was like really little back then, so I didn't know much. But like one time I got left behind at the store, and then they were supposed to lock the door, but they didn't. So a customer came through, and she was like, "I would like to buy this vase." I was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" So I called my mom. I was like, "Someone is here. Like, how do I use the register?" I just have like that kind of memory with like flowers and such. So next slide, please. So I also do like to do a lot of portraiture. I think capturing like what people feel and the expression they have in the moment, it's really interesting for me. And the funny thing about when I finished this one, it's this particular painting of the cop is like so dark and haunting that like when I finished it, I'm like, oh, this is spooky. Then I like just close my book right away on it. Next slide, please. And then one of my muses is my cat. She's a black cat and she's very silly. just a source of like laughter and like inspiration for me. This is her with one of her toys. Next slide, please. And so this is more of my recent works. I'm starting to have a shift in how I apply the color and the paint. I really like this like kind of thick, almost like Western style, like kind of layering and almost have a very thick out of the tube style, but still retain that like wateriness. Because the sense of my style, I do like the calligraphic style you see in Asian paintings, how like you have these wide open landscapes with the proverbs and the calligraphy on it. I like the idea of like the calligraphy and the words being part as the landscape being just as important. So it's just kind of like my Western take on it. So next slide, please. And so I like drawing people, but like I always think it's drawing best to draw from real life. So I just use myself. It's just, you're always on hand, so it's easy. And then I'm starting to try to integrate text more into the paint here. It's kind of hard to see, but like I'm starting to try out like these new ideas in my own approach to painting. And then next slide, please. This is more recent. Once again, it's the very heavy watercolor style, but very watery, very loose and very open, and the text almost integrated into the paint itself. For me, it's all about kind of capturing the moment and capturing these heights to the really thick brush strokes and paint, but also like having it loose, almost falling apart, because you gotta contrast the moment that's happening right now as it slips away to the next. And next slide, please. And so I like flowers, I like portraits. It's the funny thing is when I draw flowers, they almost turn out looking like portraits. It's very like intense. It's very like very vivid, very bright. And then I like birds of paradise. My mom really likes growing them, and they're like so like she just has such a green thumb. They just grow really well. So we always see them a lot around the neighborhood. And then so I also just draw for fun. I do some paintings from my friend's boba shop. They just opened, so it's kind of a bit of a shout out to them. Brian's Black Tea in Fremont. So just doing some fun paintings for good luck. And yeah, and then that's it.
We love your work, Lonnie. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm gonna talk with you here.
Yeah.
I love how you share your stories of like your everyday life, and then you paint that. Like your story with like working at the floral shop. In the end, I'd like to know the end. Did you actually successfully sell that, the flowers?
Oh yeah, I did. It's actually like a little flower arrangement I made. I was like a kid. It's like this little tiny vase, and I had like little extra like leftover flowers I put in it. But the thing is that usually in the flower arrangement, it's kind of like a dome shape. You make the flowers, but I had like ears sticking out or something, like some flowers sticking out like ears. So that was mine. And yeah, I sold it. I got the money.
I love it. What is your, for us to be supportive of you, what is your ultimate goal, to as an artist? What is your dream? Money's no object here. This is like magical wand moment.
I'm not sure. Like people asked me that before, but like my real answer is like long as I can make work that I'm proud of, then I'm fine with that. And like wherever like if I can help people as I do like more design things, I can help them fill their vision. That's good as well. But I'm just like, I guess in terms of like concrete goals, I'm just looking forward to like development work. I'm looking to take a master's program later. So just any like simple like shout outs like, oh, go Lonnie, or it's fine enough.
So we have a few questions for you in the audience. Are you currently accepting commissions, Lonnie?
Sure, I'll accept one tonight as a raffle.
One, Brandon, she's up. You can ask.
Pick a number 1 to 20. I have one in my head already.
That's wonderful. And, I appreciate your answer, especially, you're still going to school and everything. But I think with artists like you, Chopsticks Alley loves to work with artists like you because we can help guide you. We can help, share with you what is available out there as far as career goes. So, you can, of course, create beautiful work. And if you want to learn more about the art industry, we're there to help you. And in fact, I'm going to put in the link right now. We're actually accepting submissions right now for our upcoming several exhibits. And I really think you should submit. Okay.
Wink, nudge, got it.
Right? And Dr. Smita is here too. And she and I were like the people, the elders who work with the younger people to help direct you. We do all kinds of stuff to help open your mind to possibilities. And so we want to keep in touch with you. Okay, Lonnie?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'm going to give the mic back to either Esther or to Harleen.
Yes, we are back. Okay, so our next performer is Erin. Erin is a proud Silicon Valley native, born in Santa Clara and raised in Fremont, and is a prolific writer and performing artist. Erin is known for her creative work as a spoken word artist, page poet, author, and former journalist. And on deck, we have Marissa Lynn.
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me? Yeah, okay. Okay, do you plug my socials? Yay. I have one other form for those that are folks that want to be in crypto who identify as Asian American or self-identify as Asian American women. I was actually supposed to release this today at another crypto, I guess, Asian American meetup, but it's just back to back today. So apologies. I'm a little bit slightly under the weather, but I really wanted to perform today. So because it is Lunar New Year, and I'm Filipino American, I'm a 16th Chinese, 8th Spanish. So gong hei fat choi, gong shi fat sai. I hope I did not butcher that terribly. I got my red on. This is my Jabba Honeys shirt. And the poem today, I actually originally was going to save this for May for API Heritage Month, but because, you know, folks are talking about celebrating Lunar New Year in their artwork, I thought this might actually be fitting. So I wanted to ask an open question first before beginning this piece. How many people have ever read the book House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros? You can shout it out in the chat. I don't know if anyone's ever read that book. I read that, I think, in college, and my very good friend, Bao Phi, who's a very prominent Vietnamese American spoken word artist, had a poem called You Bring Out the Asian American in Me. So it was sort of I want to say tribute to House on Mango Street, which had the poem You Bring Out the Mexican in Me. So many people have tried different attempts at this poem. So this is my version that I wrote on December 4th, 2013. So, oh my goodness, almost, well, I would say over 10 years ago. So this is You Bring Out the Asian American in Me. You bring out the Asian American me, that term, yes, born of the 60s from UG and Berkeley. You bring out that Mari Matsuda-esque philosophy in me. So quite simply, just that love of family, friends, community, social justice for all. Yeah, you bring that out in me. Samurai Black Panther, ready for battle on the front line. That I Hotel lock in arm in arm, activists lock in arm, defend Manongs in me. When you read poetry, it's like you channel 10,000 carabaos rapping in the dark, Al Robles poet in me, that Philip Vera Cruz great fist in me stomping, Isang Baksak, one down, one fall, because it's one struggle and many fronts, one love, Isang Mahal. That you make me remember how when we were kids, we wanted to be like Mike, but now we can have our kids be Linsane like Jeremy. It's like you fast forward time when you teach my arms how to pop, lock, wave, morph, and VM Gonzalez dancer into Wakaba modern. Girl, ABDC, Jabberwocky, Jabba honey, you bring that out in me. You make me move fast like Silicon Valley, write code and spit lyrics harder and faster than Jerry Yang, jabbing our competitors with Pac-Man punch impact combined. You bring that out in me. We break things together, whether records or beats. No one has broken this lyrical barrier before. You bring out the nameless, but not faceless, forgotten and fallen, that seek after 9/11, that Cambodian deportee, that late fierce Tamtran dream activist sister in me, that undocumented immigrant Jose Antonio Vargas journalist in me, that Thai garment worker like my auntie in Milpitas manufacturing semiconductor on the front line. Yeah, South Bay represent in me. You bring out that Detroit Vincent Chin up for justice in me, that brother, sister, cousin trapped clinging to the piece of wood and water after each tsunami. At the same time, you're that pickup truck humming in the next lane while I try to speed too fast, too furious like an AZN Pride Racer girl wannabe. We are Asian American, stronger together, inseparable as Harold and Kumar. And I know I love you because you respect that I ain't taking shit nap off sister vagina in me, yet you carry this hard heart of hip hop that can't stop, won't stop, Jeff Chang in me. When we read together, I hear DJ Kubert turntablist masterpiece conversation of a mixtape. You bring out that pianist, violinist prodigy in me, make me want to compose sheet music and blow up on the Billboard charts, spark new stars that America has yet to see in the sky. You make me create new worlds to reclaim the stories we will tell our children. You bring out that I'm so angry Asian man, Asian girl. You bring out that I'm gonna fuck some shit up and organize in me. Now I can reference how every figure, person, leader, movement, icon, and how you bring up that place in me that makes me feel nothing but pride and smile so wide. I say, God damn, I just love this community. Can't help but compare thee to Bruce Lee. You standing strong next to me. You hold up half the sky. You bring out the Asian American in me. I build bridges with you, make babies with you, because we got a movement to birth and create. Take me back to our families' homelands in Asia proper, because you bring out the transnational love knows no borders, distance across country, states, and seas. When you spit lyrics as we walk under the scorching sun, it reminds me that song of a K-drama OST. Our eyes speak to each other in code only we can understand. You bring out the Asian American in me, create ally offerings to each other, folding you origami star necklaces and perform embarrassingly cheesy poetry to proclaim my affection to you. You bring out the Asian American me. You make me want to cook for you like a Top Chef wannabe, move beyond Asian fusion food in me. I want to tell you how bad I just want to bring you to the Ranch 99, bring you to my kitchen and cook you the taste of home, give you aromas to consume, want you to absorb the aura of me. I want you to remember the taste of me after I am gone. Each time you eat this dish, think of me, because you, yes, you bring out the Asian American, rare and powerful, we collectively in me. Yes, you, yes, you, yes, you. Thank you.
Okay, I gotta say something. Esther's on her phone, so we have like this delay. Aaron, I love that. That was so good. But Esther has much more thoughtful questions than me. I'm just kind of shallow. I think you look gorgeous, and the poem makes me laugh.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wrote this over 10 years ago. I was like, what year did I write this? I was like, 2013. It was forever and a day ago. And I was embarrassed, I think, the first time I read it. Oh my God, any traction. Like in Oakland, granted. The other one about domestic violence. So I'm glad today. It's been a minute. I thought about it, but I read and some of the figures I mentioned too are personal friends of mine, like Jose Antonio Vargas, who's actually from Mountain View, Tam Tran, who's another late sister who was a dream activist. So, I definitely hold that close to my heart of people I know outside of DJ Kubert and whatnot. But yeah, I guess Esther says, okay, my wife, I like it out. But yes, it was written in 2013. Yeah, I hope it was timeless. I mean, I still remember. I was like, do people remember Jeremy Lin? I'm like, Lin Sane. I referenced a lot of different people, but I wanted to make sure it was also not just, famous people, because it's very easy to talk about people who were, with name recognition. So I did mention the faceless and the nameless, which there's many unsung heroes in our community as well. But I don't know if Esther or anyone else has questions otherwise. I mean, I think I'm just gonna add one more, but I want to make sure, as I usually go over time. So I think one is good.
You're good, Erin. I do want to reaffirm what Chami said. You do look wonderful tonight. And I just wanted to say, I think this poem kind of sparked joy in all of us, because there were definitely pieces that I think each of us individually picked up on. This poem you did really was like a moving portrait, and it's like all of us here are Asian artists, and we could definitely connect to a few of the pieces that you included in this poem. And Lindsay's nodding, and she says, I think earlier she was saying this is like the best poem that she's heard from you in a while or something. That's saying a lot, because you really bring it.
Oh, thank you. That's so funny, because I always thought, oh man, that one did not resonate. I think people like my very angry chanty poem. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Lindsay. And thank you, CREATIVEtea and Chopsticks Alley, so Trami, Esther, Harleen, and Ashley for continuing, to put this on for us. And it's definitely amazing. And shout out to Smita and all the different, I forget, there was one other board member who was here today for just holding space. It's really important. So thank you.
Thank you for always coming back every month. We always enjoy your performances. So
Thank you.
all right, our next performer is Marissa Lynn. Marissa is a daughter of Chinese immigrants and an immigrant herself. Marissa grew up in Rochester, Minnesota, and is now based in San Jose. She began writing poems during her senior year of college, and on deck we have Hung Huynh.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Harleen, for that introduction. Excuse me. So tonight I'll be sharing 3 of my poems with you all. This first one is about a bad family vacation experience, which I'm sure many of you could probably relate to. The structure of this poem is such that the first line of each stanza begins with the same or similar line to the last line of the previous stanza. So if you hear like repetition going on, that's kind of what's happening. So this is The Lynn Family Goes to Mexico. In the end, we took the same taxi back, even though my mother called the driver a cheat, and she was embarrassed, no doubt, by hysterics of her own doing. By her own doing, we returned back. I remember it was hot, and I was embarrassed. Plus, this was Mexico, and weren't we supposed to have fun? We were supposed to have fun, said the brochures littering the beds like driftwood in our hotel room, said my dad's incessant catastrophizing and his persistent mantras like, bring your spare glasses. So I brought my spare glasses, but forgot the sunscreen. And under the beastly rays, I felt regret seeping into my darkening skin. It felt as if we were the only Asian family in this country as we drowned in a sea of Spanish. Drowning in a sea of Spanish, I marveled at the seeming ease of Mexicans touring their own country, recalling my uneasiness in my own. Whites pausing to marvel at my possession of their language, tickled by the thought of me devoting 20-some years of my life to render myself comprehensible. How to render my mother comprehensible was a puzzle neither my father, brother, nor I could crack. Something about motherhood, womanhood, and perpetual foreignness altogether made perpetual forgiveness the only solution. But in that moment, I could not bring myself to forgive her, so there we were, 2 others othering one another in a country which our country had othered. My mother scolding the driver who barely spoke English, not unlike her when she arrived in '95. My tongue back then unmarked, innocent of colonial transgression. I was innocent, I told myself, but still I offered an apology. Because if I was innocent, he was wronged, and to give myself for another's transgression was what I perceived to be the natural demand of my life. Of my life, I understood that much of it had been contrived without my knowledge, much less with my consent, all up to this moment, locked between the doors of an old taxi cab, all of us locked between the doors of East and West, North and South. Somehow the doors seemed to divide us, and it was then that I knew that all I needed to do was to find out how to open them. All right, so this next poem is called The Memory That Never Was, and it's inspired by the fact of me being a firstborn daughter during the one-child policy in China, and just reflecting on how daughters were not considered as desirable as sons, and in some cases even murdered because households could only have one child. So obviously that didn't happen to me, but I think that kind of idea still haunts me. And so this poem is about that. The memory that never was. Might still be the everything of yourself. Might be you fighting you for your last breath. Threats knifing through the windows of the you will nevers and breathe one last times. Each solemn remembrance dripping ancestral faces into smoke, noses melting into cheeks, melting into lips, softening into the chins of your foremothers. Their skins stirring into a glaze of generations, each one as forgetful as the former, as vengeful as the next, Reincarnated as a crane fly, even then, I see my mother's tears, witness them dripping from a leaking bathroom faucet, unsanctioned drops falling, flattening on the porcelain, as silent as the eve of a murder that never took place. A Chinese infant born in a country of one children, my parents' first and disappointing hope I could be dead. And so too, my descendant daughters. My parents' next hope. My brother, birthed in a cousin country, this one of second, third, and fourth children. Scootering around the cul-de-sac, him and I, breathless and unfettered, the call of our mother to come inside reminds us that we are not free. Our memory selves locked in the museum of the past, which is to say, if you believe the child of generation and trauma is a hospital full of corpses giving birth to their own bodies, then you might be the beginning and the end, might be the very one they have been waiting for.
Thank you so much for, wow.
So I have one more poem. So a little bit of background. So I grew up in the Midwest in Minnesota, and there weren't a lot of Asians there. And I had this kind of silly idea that there's this one other Chinese boy in my grade, and we did a lot of the same activities together. Our parents knew each other. And so I thought like, oh, we're going to end up together. Like that's just how it's going to be, which is kind of a little bit like problematic thinking about where that came from, but looking back, it's a little bit entertaining. So this is Still Time. 9. I thought I was going to marry him. Kevin, the reedy, nerdy boy with glasses in my grade. I mean, we both played the piano. We're both labeled smart. Attended the same schools. Our parents were friends, immigrants from the mainland. 8. My white friend's white dad, Brian, looks taller in our doorway, monstrous even, with his full-bellied body, raucous laugh, lumberjack jokes, and the questions I can only smile at. How will your parents arrange your marriage? Will they ship a boy from China? 7. Marriage. In the past 7 or more generations, not one couple in my family has divorced. Not one couple has been happy. 6. Happy? Exclaims my mother. What do you mean you want to be happy? Be a sensible girl, a reasonable lady. Do what you can to live a good life. 5. My mother is disappointed. She has never read my poetry, but has always admired my writing, praised the neat sentences, perfect punctuation. Good job, she says to my A+ essays, polished vocabulary, smart words, empty English. 4. After attending the same piano studio, the same highly gifted middle school, suburban high school surrounded by snow-covered cornfields, he and I flew to the same university more than 4 states away. 3. It was hardly fate. Long story short, I never married Kevin, never even went on a date, haven't talked to him since. I heard he's in New York now, founded a fashionable cryptocurrency startup, DJs on the side, wears contacts, single. 2. My mother calls again today. There's still time, she says. The end. Thank you.
Thank you. I love your poems. I'm so glad that you came back to share with us all these stories. I wonder how, besides the poem that you share with us, but how is that one child policy affecting your family?
Yeah, that's a good question. We never really talked about it. And I think maybe the one time I did ask my mom about it, just to like kind of get her thoughts on that, she never really, she seemed more closed about it, or she was like, of course we would like keep you. And she knew that she wanted to immigrate to the United States. So maybe that wasn't as much of a factor for her. But yeah, I think just looking at my cousins, and one of my cousins is also a single, well, I have a sibling, but she doesn't have any siblings. And I think I can see how just the patriarchal norms or settings kind of affect her differently. So it's still definitely present in our family.
Yeah. I think Lindsay has some questions for you.
Hello again, Marissa. I'm a really big fan of yours from when you came last time, so I'm really happy that you came back. And I think it was interesting that you were saying when you try to ask your mom, it doesn't sound like the conversation went to the space that you wanted to. So I guess if you feel comfortable sharing, I would ask kind of what motivates you to keep sharing these really personal stories when maybe you're not getting that feedback or those affirmations or those facts that you're looking for from your family. Because I think it's really courageous to talk about things that we don't necessarily talk about as, you know, Chinese American people or Asian American people. So if you're not getting those affirmations, what keeps you being like, I'm going to keep, you know, telling these really vulnerable and important stories about our cultures?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you, Lindsay, for that. And I think the answer has to do with just my experience growing up in Minnesota and not seeing a lot of like people who look like me telling their stories, being writers, and just speaking up. And then also moving to the Bay Area for college and seeing a lot of really awesome role models who were doing that, who did identify as Asian American and Asian American females. And yeah, I found that really inspiring. And I thought, like, I feel in a sense an honor to kind of continue that tradition, you know, to thinking about maybe there are other people who don't grow up around like a lot of Asian Americans, and maybe I can be that for someone else.
Thank you so much, Marissa, for sharing. We hope you come back again. And since you are local, if we do have our open mic in person next time, we would love to see you perform live.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you for having me.
All right, so our next performer is someone who we, the team at Chopsticks Alley, are very familiar with. We have Hong. Hong was born and raised in Saigon, Vietnam. She works at Chopsticks Alley, and she's a student at Evergreen Valley College who's into sculpture, painting, and photography. And on deck, we have Miho. So Hong, take the floor.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight. So I am my major at San Jose State University right now is spatial art, is means sculpture. So my medium I focus mainly is ceramic, but I'm studying a little bit in bronze now. So I want to talk about I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
Hang is the sweetest. We asked her to do this. She's very nervous, but she is the best artist ever. And this is our practice, right? This is how we start all this. And so we push her out there and she's doing it. So let's enjoy her work.
Okay. Okay, so I quit school a long time ago when I came back to school in 2017 in San Jose City College. There is a professor, ESL, her name is Leslie Rice, and she introduced us to the movie about Jane Goodall and chimpanzee. So it's really inspired me a lot, and then my work have been influenced by her a lot. Like Jane Goodall is the first woman scientist came to Africa to study chimpanzee. So in the movie, she said, Jen Guro say that like she want to do all the things that men can do. So this is like kind of stuck with me because when I was a little girl, I was thinking like I can do anything that men can do. So like she's inspired me so much as an artist. So this is the like, you know, when I take my major before like graphic design. So when I take this class art 3 from my professor, another professor, Michelle Gerard, she's amazing artist also. So she like I changed my major because of my professor too. So this is like this semester I create the you know, how do I say this one? Like the title like chimpanzee and Jen Gura. So you can see a little bit mistake right here with the cheekbone, and then I kind of break something like this around here. So, and then for my second semester in ceramics class, I make like Jen Gura and chimpanzee again, but like the title of this one is Before Human, because I have loved chimpanzee since. And then this is like when I think about chimpanzee, they are second cousin of human, and then we have to remember them like they kind of relate to us. So, and then this is the woman right here, Jen Guro, and then chimpanzee. So another artwork that I make in San Jose State University before pandemic happened. So when I think chimpanzee and all the forest, like kind of like there's like the climate change affect to them a lot because like they can't, I don't know how to explain this like okay, like this one, this title for this one is the chimpanzee, the hungry chimpanzee. So like that's why he's kind of skinny because all the food is gone, he had no food to eat. So in the future I want to do more about chimpanzee. I want to have the voice for chimpanzee, like just like Jen Guro, she dedicated her life for the chimpanzee, yeah, for nature. So that's what my main focus for now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Hang. We love it. You are so cute.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.
Love your work. And you did a great job, you know, sharing your work and why. You know, on a personal note, Hang, because we've worked with her, is a wonderful human being. And I get it now when you explain the connection with Jane Goodall and the chimpanzees, because that's what you are, like a heart of gold. And we love you so much. And also she's an amazing cook. So y'all be her friend because she'll cook. It's so good. Okay. Next time we have,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next time we have creativity, I can't wait to like see it in person because I think that's like even more impactful, right? Yeah, so thank you so much. Also, you know, she was just featured at San Jose Museum of Art's Lunar New Year. She did a little inspiration project based on Sung Mai, which is a Vietnamese paint technique. And so she was actually featured at SJMA, y'all. Okay, so she's no small fish. She's just very humble.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Arlene.
Okay, thank you, Hong, for performing. Now we have Miho. Miho is in love with nature and would love to capture the moments that she feels touched by. She wants to communicate to people with art as a form of visual communication. And on deck, we have Rafi.
So Miho, unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miho Pullman, and thank you for inviting me here. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time being here, and it's wonderful to see the Asian artists. This is wonderful. I'm a Japanese. Then every time I introduce myself as Japanese, yes, the country for the sushi and the anime. And that maybe ramen. That's what people always tell me. Oh, I like ramen or sushi. But anyway, so growing up, I always liked the art. But when I was younger, I studied the graphic design. So I worked as a technical illustrator. But doing fine art is always in my dream. So I eventually went back to school and studied the fine art again. So when I go back to the school, I was expecting all this beautiful that Renaissance times is that very accurate, like a photography looking that represented art. That's what I wanted to create. So when I went to school, that was just the huge shocking because school is pushing you to do the abstract art. And then I struggled a lot with the abstract art. It was very, very difficult. So I wanted to tell you the journey in between the abstract art and the other representational art. And then art is always about going ahead of time and in the many ways. Then also they go to the because of the concept first and stuff. When the representational, like a very like a photorealistic type of the art was going, then the impressionists that came, then the impressionists that took over later on, then afterwards the abstract artists came and that changed the world. Then nowadays basically there isn't any of the like a rule in the art. But I want to share my childhood art. Sorry, I don't know how to. I tried to make it bigger, but it didn't happen. So sorry, it's just kind of smaller. So I want to make it bigger. But this is one of the works I have done when I was in high school. This is in Kyoto. Then I really like
Miho, I'm sorry to interrupt. If on the bottom of the screen, where it says like 100 and something %, there's a little button on the left.
Yes, I clicked it many times and it didn't work. I don't know why. Yes, the square thing you're talking about, Tommy?
On the left. On the left.
On the left?
On the left of the percentage going. Yeah, right, that button there. On the left, right there. One more left. One more left. There, that button.
Oh, thank you. How do you click it to the oh, there. Sorry. Oh, this way. Yes, thank you, Chami. So this is when I was in that high school. Then as I said, when I was still liking that representational art. So this is the one of the nature landscape art that I have done, and this is a Teton National Park. Then to me, art is something beautiful that evoke your mind, spark your mind at with the beauty. When you see the beautiful nature, you go, wow, that's so pretty. Then I want to capture the moment of the feeling. So that to me is art. But abstract art, you have to create from nothing. So when you do that representational art, great thing is that you can see something, you can rely on something, and you can create that, recreate that in a way in your own canvas. But when you try to do create from nothing, as you may know, all the creator, you are artist, it is very difficult. Then you cannot see other people's, and you cannot mimic others. This is a Yellowstone. Previous one was oil, and I do mainly oil, but this is a pastel drawing actually. So I have done that many years ago with the Yellowstone. And this is the first attempt of my abstract art. So this is from my memory. I had this at the childhood memory of the little girl running towards like a line of trees. So this is quite large, like a 30 by 40, and this is also oil painting. But anyway, my attempt at the oil painting, the first one is the memorable for me. This is called a monoprint. I'm sorry that I'm going to showing you that various medium, but just to get to my point, I just need to show you that various kind of that way. But this is another attempt of doing the abstract art. I don't have any title, but when I did this, I discovered how fun the abstract can be. You explore the internal part of yourself, and that was one part of it. So this is the artichoke. This is also a pastel, and this is quite large. It may not be that big, but this is another pastel. But to show you the scale of the pastel art, this is the real onion. Then this was my model, and this is what I drew with that pastel. So another journey of the abstract. So abstract is the paint that you may see, that you don't really have to have any representational shapes. And even a 5 years old can do the great art. They can do what they're feeling. They can bust into the colors and shapes and stuff. Then what I learned in school is difference in between the 5 years old beautiful abstract art and adult abstract art are the concept. So concept behind the art is very important. Then I had a chance to talk with the Stanford graduate, the art students, and they said that the 90% of the Stanford is the art that they encourage to build that concept. I'm not sure that I can go that far with the concept. Because the other artists said that, well, actually, professor said that the art is a visual communication. So in order for you to communicate whatever the feeling or message you have, and in any way, even the abstract or the representation, then you have to have, yes, concept. But half of it, you need to have the skill. So the training the skills is I still think it's important. But nowadays that people accept everything, anything. But I still think it's important to have a certain skill in order for you to convey your message. But anyway, this is another attempt to the semi-abstract, semi-representational. This is I wanted to show you that my procedure from the beginning to the and this is the underpaint of the Mount Shasta. This looks like the representational, but actually this is in my head. And then all the shapes are from similar to Mount Shasta, but painting is just coming out from my head. And then I think this is the
Miho, thank you so much for explaining your art. I just wanted to ask, since we're running short on time and this.
Oh, okay. So should I finish?
Please show us the rest. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So am I the last person?
We have one more artist after you. We have one more artist.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So this is at the show we used it. And then my friend came. This is another the art. And this is my attempt to the recent, I title is a self-reflect. This is a recent abstract I have tried. But this is to feel my the representational the craving. I've done the couple of the representational, and this is another one. This is a place called Bear Lake, and this is another Bear Lake. So thank you for bear with me, and then thank you for letting me share my art today.
Thank you so much, Miho, for joining us. And we can't wait to see a lot more. And I think next time we would love to see it all blown up, like the whole entire slide, so we can see it much better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your artwork is incredible, and it shows. I don't even know what to say. We're like honored that you're here. What can I say?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Yes,
so,
Miho, thank you for gracing our open mic with your beautiful, very technically intricate paintings. And yeah, I think I speak for all of us saying that we want to see it on a large screen so we can enjoy more of it. And thank you also for sharing about your journey and encouraging a lot of the artists here. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, I get to introduce our final performer of the evening, and then stick around for our final raffle of the open mic. Whew, okay. Final performer is Rafi. He is a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he's a performer who's passionate about deep human experiences and love and life in Silicon Valley. Rafi also runs a business that aims to make work better for people. So interested to hear what that's about. But also, if you ever go to open mics, you just may have heard Rafi perform his songs before with some other musicians. So Rafi, I'm gonna spotlight you.
Thank you, Esther. So kind of you to mention about this open mic. I can say that this is the best open mic I've ever attended. There's just so much amazing talent. It has a lot of content, and I'm really humbled to be a part of this event tonight. This is one of the newer songs I wrote because there's just so much negativity in the air, and so I kind of write something that will be projecting a bit more positive thought. Morning has broken, so it seems. Time to get up and be seen. So much ahead, but we let it be. Be excited of what is yet to be. A year over, a new one is here. Love the softness of life, Kashmir. Whatever trouble may come our way, we're sure to tackle. That's all I can say. Never surrender, never give up. Never give way to misguided naysayers. We have the power to make things better. We can be better, much better, if we care for each other. If we're together, we'll overcome. If we care, we will prevail. Never surrender, never give up. Never give way to misguided naysayers. We have the power to make things better. We can be better, much better, if we care for each other. Hope you like that song.
oh, I think it's like the perfect song for all of this. I think everyone should unmute themselves. I'm just taking over because, you know, I just think, Rafi, that was so lovely.
Oh, thank you.
So lovely.
I have another one, but it will be very short because I
think
signed
we
up for
should-
7. You
we
would
should
like to
have
hear
you
that?
play. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
We're here. We'll stay and listen.
Yeah, because this is, you know, I'm involved in the workspace, and as you know, we experience this new way of thinking about work, So why not write something about it, right? So I titled Shirking from Home. You know, all this stuff about working from home, working from anywhere, stuff like that. So I thought, why not write a song about that? Hold on, okay. We don't hear employees saying they're shirking from home. We don't hear it. We don't hear it at all. We don't hear it from Salesforce. We don't hear it from Dropbox. We don't hear it from Google and Twitter too. Voices we're hearing, employees not shirking from home. But we do know some others saying exactly the opposite. We can hear them. We can hear them too. We can hear it from Wall Street. We can hear it from landlords. We can hear it from others who feed them well. But the voices we are hearing, employees are not shirking from home. Work is not what it used to be. Wherever you are, where you're best at, that's where you should be. Where you're happy, that's where we should be. Work. While we work, we can do wondrous things, like rake leaves in the yard, bring grandma to the park, have meetings in Zoom, and coach kids while they're away from school. And lest you forget, skip the commute, enjoy the deep blue skies. Work, not what it used to be. Wherever you are, where you're best at, that's where you should be. Where we're happy, that's where we should be. Thank you so much.
Love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna put everybody on screen so we can say hello, shout out, all that amazing thing. Rafi, you're like such a perfect performer for us to end the evening with your
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
Right? I want to take a screenshot, like photo of our New Year event. So everyone pose, okay? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and you're going to smile. Do whatever it is you need to do for Lunar New Year. Yes, your dog, Betty. I've got mine too, co-pilot. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you everyone for staying on and hanging on with each other and supporting each other. We have so many shout outs, you know, for artists supporting each other, like Betty, she needs your help, you know, get on her M Belong page. And Rafi, I hope you come back, and all the amazing Vineet. Oh my gosh, you got to come back. And, you know, every single one of you, and Lonnie, you know, we love you. So we are going to end the live stream. Usually we hang out just a little bit if you guys want to share anything else on Zoom, but we're going to end our show, our CREATIVItea monthly event, which is every second Wednesday of the month. I believe our next show will be live in person at Gardner Community Center at Chopsticks Alley's home. So stay tuned unless some other COVID thing happens. Otherwise, it's in person. So we hope you will sign up for next time. All right.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone. And Esther and Harleen, I'm sorry, I'm speaking on your behalf because of Wi-Fi issues. All right. So everyone hang on while I stop the live